So some of the things that I've learned in this project um, is, especially my identity web, is all the different little things, um, that I've learned about myself. Seeing how most of it comes out from my family. As you can see, that up there, this shirt right here, right? It just all is a part of me. As a person and as a person of color, I've seen a lot of things, especially in my culture that deals with race, that have dealt with racism personally. After I got these, it was like I'm a criminal. But here I am, and this was, I guess, kind of even since I was a kid, or even since I started getting tattoos, was to prove people that just because you have tattoos doesn't mean that you're, a gangbanger. That means that you don't know how to speak right, or even what is the right way to speak, right? I mean, is it that you have to have perfect grammar? Is it that you have to have, you know, talk, talk like I'm talking right now, right? Because I can tell you what, most people that I've known, or even like, when I would be on a dating site, right? I would meet someone and I would talk to them on the phone, and they would tell me that I sound white. And I'm like, what is a Mexican supposed to sound like, right? I don't understand. Like, that made no sense to me, and it still to this day, like, doesn't bother me, but it still like makes me wonder, um, right? Because for me, I always was taught from my grandfather was that to be proud of who you are, be proud of where you've come from. My grandfather came at 14 years old here, and I couldn't imagine leaving another country and my family behind, trying to work in the fields at 14 years old. It's insane. But it can be done. I mean, obviously it was done. And part of my culture, is part of me. It's part of what's in my food. It's the skin color that I have. It's the look that I have, right? It's the way that I speak. But I don't. I've always told myself that I want to be looked at as an educated, as a smart person, as someone to respect, and someone that gives respect back, right? So learning those cultural things, and being able to be open to other cultures, and being able to see the stereotypes, even like when we did the stereotype things. I know that there's a lot of stereotypes that I have, of people, and it's because they're talked about so often, and especially among minority groups. Minorities already know the stereotypes that most people have of them, so it's like, for us, it's kind of a joke. But it's still hurtful in a way, right? Because you still, when you go to a store and you get looked at or you get followed, you're like, why are you following me, right? Like, you don't need to follow me. Like, I'm not gonna steal nothing. Stuff like that. I mean, when I was watching those videos, listening to that little girls talk about how they made them pay before they left the restaurant, before they even ordered food. Now, that's a little much. But, those are the little things that I myself personally need to work on. And assuming things about people just because of maybe the way that they look, because of the way that they speak, right? Those are things that I've learned about myself in this journey so far, and learning about these things, in these teaching classes, which is awesome because it brings out those inner things that you maybe don't touch on, right? That they're still there, but like at the bottom of your culture iceberg, but they're not, visible to anybody else. But those are things that you need to work on and touch on as a person, and in order to be a better person, in order to not do that to other people. Because when you start doing that to other people, that's when you're proving those people right, that you stereotype people, that you're even borderline racist, I guess you could say. And it's tough because, like I said, they've been ingrained in you for so long, and from other people, from older generations especially, that have these, stereotypes and stuff like that. So just learning to shed those things is very important to me, especially going into the diverse, culture, and the diverse pool of people that I'm going to be teaching, basically. And some of the assets that I bring, I bring a passion for teaching. I bring a passion for educating people, whether it's white, black, yellow, green, whatever it may be. I just want people to learn. I want people to learn, to be lifelong learners, people to want to keep succeeding, people want to see people succeed. That's deep in my heart. Like, I really feel that that's a big asset for me. Wanting to touch people from or I should say, like, wanting to, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Wanting to be an influence on people at a young age, so that way when they get older, they don't get into those pitfalls that you get in as you get older, right? Striving to drive home better, education, better, what's it called? The funds of knowledge, right? Being able to know those things so you can, implement that into your teaching and everything like that. And just being an overall better person, to pass that on to other kids, so that way they see that, right? Because you always hear these stories about, oh, this person this person that, this teacher taught me this teacher taught me that. That's what I want. I want kids to come back later on, and my uncle gets it all the time. Oh, Mr. Ramirez, this and that. But I want students of mine to come back later on and say, hey, Mr. Artigas, like, remember that? Yeah, that taught me this, and look where I'm at now. Like, thank you, and those are things that, this is probably the biggest reason why I want to get into teaching, because I want to be able to touch people's lives, to be a positive influence in people's lives, and to have those people. So diving into that, I mean, it's been pretty much a game changer, I should say, and looking at all those different parts of me as a person and as a whole, and as a teacher, as an educator, right? But I think this is something that I've had burning inside me for a while, and I don't think it's going to go out anytime soon, which is cool. And even going through some rough times and substituting, I still want to teach. I still have that passion to, like I said, to get to someone, to be able to influence those kids, and to be able to hopefully, teach and inspire the next Supreme Court justice, to teach and inspire the next senator, to teach and inspire the next, Bill Gates, or the next, Elon Musk, or whatever it may be. And hopefully it be someone of color, right? Because that's what I think we need more diversity in that 1% that we have, right? When they say that there's that 1%. So I think that that's my goal. My goal is to, educate more people of color, educate more, minorities, and raise them up, right, to a level that, can't be denied, I should say. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for everything, and yeah.